Hi everyone, hope you are all safe at home and doing well. And this e-module is about radiation protection in diagnostic radiology, where we are going to discuss about the radiation protection from diagnostic radiology devices, instruments such as X-ray units and fluoroscopic units, and then other instruments such as MRI, CT, and other diagnostic devices. So to start with, we'll recap about the diagnostic radiology and we'll proceed further. To have brief information about this diagnostic radiology, it's a field of medicine that uses non-invasive imaging, that is non-destructive imaging scans to diagnose a patient or to treat a patient. And this diagnostic radiology may include radiography, that is X-rays, ultrasound, computer tomography, magnetic resonance imaging, and nuclear medicine scans. All the other devices use the radiation as a diagnostic tool except this MRI, where the magnetic field is used as a diagnostic tool. And all these equipments involve low doses of radiation to create or to produce the high detailed images of an area. So diagnostic radiology is nothing but it's a non-invasive imaging scans to diagnose a patient. Okay. And there are many instruments which are used worldwide, which varies in the amount of radiation exposed to the patient. That is, if a patient is diagnosed here in India with particular medical facility, and if the same patient is diagnosed in some other place, for example in USA, with some other medical facility, the amount of radiation exposed will vary. Why this kind of variation is there? This variation was studied by some standard people known as BRH, who are nothing but the Bureau of Radiological Health, where the directors, radiological directors from various countries have studied and reported the national-wide evaluation of X-ray trends, where they have recommended few techniques or few methods to minimize the unnecessary radiation in diagnostic radiology. So we are going to learn, or we are going to see what are all the possible methods to minimize the unnecessary radiation. The first method is, what are all the list that the next group have recommended? Here you could see the X-ray machine, where we do have got the X-ray beam and the power supply, collimator cylinder with the power supply, and important thing where we have given in the highlighted in the red mark is aluminum filter. What is the role of this filter? This filter always filters the low energy X-ray beams which are unnecessary radiation for the patient. But exclusively in mammograms, these low energy X-rays are used to trace the image of the breast cancers. But here, though the energy is low, the filter should always be used so that we can avoid some unnecessary radiation which are exposed to the patients. And how much amount of filtration could be used? The more prominent filter is aluminum filters are used in X-ray units to filter all these low energy X-rays, and this amount of filtration can be estimated by the half value layer. Hope you remember this, which we have discussed in the radiation protection and therapy. This half value layer can be calculated from the linear attenuation coefficient called mu, and so the filtration is needed. The amount of filtration or the thickness of shielding can be calculated from linear attenuation coefficient. So the first predominant factor is filter. I have to make use of the aluminum filter, and this amount of filter can be calculated from this half value layer. And the second factor is, if the film is being underdeveloped or if the film and the screen are insensitive, then the unnecessary radiation may be exposed by the patient. So the second factor is, if the film is underdeveloped or if the film and the screen which are used are insensitive, then the larger exposure is needed than the normal exposure. And the fourth factor is, The retaking of X-ray, that is the repetition of X-ray to a patient, is the major cause of unnecessary radiation. Why this retaking happens? This may be due to the untrained X-ray operator or the wrong positioning of the patient or some other problem in the X-ray machine. So before taking the X-ray, we should be more careful on checking, and the periodical evaluation is also needed. So there are only 4 factors that are going to contribute to the larger X-ray. Filters to filter the low energy X-rays, and the film should not be underdeveloped, and the film and the screen should be more sensitive to avoid all those, and the repetition of X-rays can also be avoided. And the next criteria which was reported by this next study is, that is the ratio of X-ray beam area to film area. What is X-ray beam area? Here you could see the diagram where we do have got an X-ray source here. So this is the beam area, that is the distance between the X-ray source and the distance, and this beam area should always be small or large, should always be twice larger than the film. Okay, so when we take the ratio of the X-ray beam area to the film area, will always be less than 1, meaning in the sense the film will be much more larger than the beam area. That is, the beam area can be controlled with the help of the device here in the collimator, so that this will be always be smaller than the film, or the film will be much more bigger to capture the X-rays. As per the federal law, the manufacturers incorporate several devices on the equipments which will be turned on if the beam is larger than the film being used. So the only point which we have to remember is the beam area should always be larger than the film, and so the ratio will be small, that is less than 1. And the third factor is the distribution of exposure area product. What is in this exposure area product? Exposure area is the measure of total radiation reached to the patient or insult to the patient. How to calculate this exposure area? It's nothing but a product of X-ray exposure, which is always in Roentgens, calculated by the size of the beam in square centimeters. So RAPS is nothing but the measure of the total radiation is nothing but the product of the X-ray in Roentgens multiplied by the size of the beam in square centimeters, and when this product is divided by 100, we can calculate the value in terms of RAPS. And what are all the control measures to avoid this unwanted radiation? So there are the 4 factors which have to be kept in mind to avoid the larger X-ray exposures. Filter should be used, and film should not be underdeveloped, and the film and the screen should be more sensitive. Retaking should be avoided, and always we should be more concerned about the ratio of this beam area and the film area, where this ratio should always be less than 1, and this exposure area should be calculated then and there, which is nothing but called as the RAPS. And what are all the control measures that could be done to avoid this unnecessary radiation? Always the gonads, which are genetically significant radiation, should be shielded wherever possible. Even for the adolescents, for females, even for the infants, the gonads, that is the organs which are producing gametes, should be shielded. And there is a rule for the women who are taking the X-rays. That is, a rule is called as a 10-day rule. What is this 10-day rule? The X-rays for the women can be taken only during the 10 days following the last menstrual period, and this is 10-day rule, so that they will not be affected. So their gonads will be shielded during the investigation. And what are all the other radiations from the fluoroscopic examinations? So up to this we have seen of 4 X-rays. And what is this fluoroscopic? Fluoroscopic is also an X-ray investigation, but it's in real-time moving images taken with the help of the X-ray source. So there should be some, again, the same methodology, same procedures. Here you could see the diagram of the fluoroscopy, modern fluoroscopy intensifier, where X-ray tube is here. This is a beam area, patient, and here image intensifier. The data are collected to the TV monitor or any data acquisition system to get some data in the analog form as well as in the digital form. Right. So what are all the possible measures that could be followed to reduce the radiation in case of fluoroscopic examinations? First thing is, here too some sort of filters, aluminum filters should be used to avoid the low energy X-ray beams reaching the patient. And when an X-ray beam is much larger, scattering is possible, and because of scattering the image of the image might be more blurred, or it may not give you more information, so the detailed information will be missing in an area. So the beam area should be kept in mind. It should not be much larger. If the beam is larger, which results in the less information in the image. So this is an example for the early fluoroscopy, where there is no any shielding, where the technician will be wearing only the lead glass, and the patient is evaluated with the help of the screen, where the fluoroscopic screen to record the images. And this is the modern intensifier, image intensifier fluoroscopic system, where right now the real-time images are being recorded. And the third criteria in case of fluoroscopy is, if there is some brightness stabilizer is defective in the image intensifier. This is the image intensifier where there is a brightness stabilizer will be there. If this brightness stabilizer is defective, then in that case the technician may not be aware of this defective, and he may expose the radiation much larger than the normal amount. So in that case, the patient will be exposed to larger amount of radiation. And there is also a timer in an X-ray tube, and we should always have a check with the timer, because if the timer is defective or if it is elapsed, then the technician may not be aware of this, so that the patient may experience, or patient may have to face the large amount of unnecessary radiation. And what are all the feasible solutions that should be needed to reduce this radiation exposure? New electronic image storage systems have to be designed, because the radiation received depends on all these factors. There is peak kilovoltage, time, filter, and there is a device called a RAP, that is Roentgen Area Product Meter, attached with the X-ray unit to measure this RAPs. So what is RAP? RAP is always be fixed at the end of the collimator to measure the amount of exposure given to the patient. So this will be digitalized meter, which helps the technician to find the fault or to find the amount of radiation which is given to the patient instantly. So to summarize this, we started with a definition of diagnostic radiology, and we have seen the protection from X-ray units, fluoroscopic examinations, and few other possible solutions, and we end up with a RAP meter, which is nothing but the dosimeter which we normally use to measure the dosage of the X-ray radiation given to the patient. And these are all the few references which can be used to have some clarifications related with these topics. And feel free to post any comments and queries in the Google Classroom if you have any clarifications. And thank you, and we'll meet in the next module. Thank you.